Chair Bradford.
Here.
Committee Member Freese. Committee Member Namath. Committee Member Redmond.
Here.
Committee Member Damon.
Here.
Committee Member Wenta.
Absent. Okay, so we have a quorum.
Wait, I'm here.
Well, Michelle.
I'm sorry. I'm here. Committee Member Strauss. I'm so sorry, Michelle.
That's why I didn't get the email.
The next order of business is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, and modifications that anyone wishes to make at this time? There being none, we need a motion from someone to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is communications from citizens. We have one citizen with us today. If you'd like to say anything to us, now would be your time at the podium there, right to your right, I think that would be.
I'm actually not a citizen, so I'm the new community development director.
Oh, you
So
are?
this is my third
Okay.
day here. My name's Jeremy Hupsch, but I'm going to be going by Jay because we can't have two Jeremys, of course.
Oh, okay.
His idea, not mine.
He didn't make me do it.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, so I've been the previous community development director in North Palm Beach and also Atlantic Beach, so two really similar cities, and both were very environmentally conscious. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I think Jeremy intends to have me work with you guys quite a bit, so.
Well,
excited about
welcome.
it.
It's nice to have you, and thank you
Hello,
for coming.
Hello.
Brad?
Freese is here.
Okay.
So, Mary Ann, Brad has joined us, so for the record.
Yes, thank you. Tom, you do not have.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, I
this
got
for
that.
me
Yeah,
because
I'm an
we were
oddball.
locked out and you had already had it to press the email.
Yeah.
So you were locked out, I couldn't get in to do it. So once Brad gets you unlocked, he
Unlocked.
lets me know that I'll set you up.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, if I were you, I'd make this an IT project to get it out of your hair.
Brad, did you hear that? Oh, that's the wrong Brad. Jeremy, did you hear that?
I didn't hear all of it, no.
I thought Brad Converse was on there.
She was talking about Brad, the IT guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we look forward to working with you, Jay, and welcome aboard. You didn't have to do all that moving and packing and all that, since I assume you're nearby, so that's great. Jupiter, excellent.
Oh, it is?
That's not gonna help you anyway.
Okay,
After the meeting, we
the
can
next
all-
item on the agenda is consent agenda. We have the minutes of August of 2023 meeting on August 9.
I asked him to mute himself.
Hey, Brad, can you mute yourself? We're hearing a lot of feedback.
It sounds like he's scuba diving.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can, if possible. Can you mute yours? Because we're getting a lot of feedback noise in the meeting.
All right, we'll do.
Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. It's the minutes of August 9, 2023. We've had those for a while. They looked fine to me. We need a motion to approve the minutes of August 9th, 2023. If someone will make the motion, we can get over this formality.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Redmond. Is there a second by Mr. Damon? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays. Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the old business, and it's the EAC new initiatives. And what you see here is my attempt to lay out the areas of responsibility that we've been assigned so that we can routinely have updates and make progress on this. So the first item is updates on assignments for greenhouse gas reduction actions. And there we have at least a couple of specific identified greenhouse gas reduction actions. The first one is communications. Jill will be working on a pamphlet and probably other communications that can be used to let people know about the benefits of green buildings such as LEED, and she's also working to contact LEED for someone to give us a presentation on the use of LEED and, you know, things that one could consider and look out for if you do go down that path. But she's on vacation or something, so she's not here today. And so we'll have to put that aside. The second one is the LEED incentives, which Michelle so graciously agreed to work on for us. Now, Michelle, I think you were on vacation, so you probably haven't done much. So,
I've got stuff.
but you do have something,
I do
so
have
if you
something.
do, the floor
Okay.
is yours.
All right. So I looked at both, generally, residential and commercial, in what LEED has to offer. So I usually start with the general big picture and then work myself into the specifics or the strategies. So I'm just gonna, do you want me to just read this?
Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable
Okay.
doing, yeah.
I'll skip through, but I think I itemized it pretty good. So I start with the general, so I'm looking at residential and commercial for owners, developers, and then the VOT, community and properties, how it can affect those three areas. And started off with just what is LEED. So it's the leadership in energy and environmental design. And according to the U.S. Green Building Council, it's the world's most preeminent green building system, and it uses a rating system with prerequisites to address carbon, energy, water, waste, transportation, material, health, and indoor environmental quality. So that's their general big picture. The LEED homes, residential, they look for resilience in adverse conditions and catastrophic weather, clean indoor air, natural light, safe materials, reduce energy and water consumption, and minimize exposure to airborne toxins and pollutants, which reduces environmental impact also. LEED homes can usually qualify for discounted homeowners insurance and tax breaks and other incentives, which will probably be more in Jill's category. And just a little interesting, it said in many markets, the certified green homes are now selling quicker and for more money than comparable non-green homes, which was interesting.
You say they sell quicker?
That's
Oh,
what they
okay.
had on, yeah, sell quicker and more money. On average, green buildings can save between 25 to 50% of energy, 10 to 40% of water consumption, and reduce maintenance costs by 12%. I have not delved into where those stats come from yet, so this again is general information. Green buildings with all their efficiencies are deemed critical for addressing climate change and meeting the ESG goals. And Florida has 30 registered and 16 certified LEED cities and counties. And incentives are used by the municipalities to encourage savings, improve efficiency, lower the carbon emissions, and create healthier environments. These practices are critical to addressing climate change for ESG, and this is viewed by the U.S. Green Building Council. There's a lot of acronyms in this.
Oh, yeah.
Is there such thing as acronym illness? So the incentives are broken into structural, financial, and other incentives that are offered by other municipalities in exchange for green building practices. And their goal is to achieve LEED certifications. And the LEED certification system, looks like I'm going to put that on the wrong page, is done by levels, and there's prerequisites that need to be met, and the different levels, platinum, silver, gold, and carry on. We'll go into that in more detail at another time. So other municipalities using their incentives in a structural way, which gives low or no cost to the municipality through expedited plans reviews, reduced permitting and plan review fees, density and height bonuses, and offer increases in FAR, the floor area ratio, or other density parameters. And financial, this seemed to me to be much more of a strategy that's used by the larger municipalities. We have 6,000 population and plus, and Tequesta, the others municipalities are quite large compared to us. But in the financial incentives, they use tax credits and grants to the developers in exchange for the green building standards. And first one, tax credits, and fee reductions, reductions or waivers for the permitting process, compare with a structural process of reduced time for permitting. Grants, we can go into that at another time. Again, that seemed to be something that was more readily available to use as a strategy by the larger ones, but they do offer homeowners and developers grants to get towards their certification and costs associated with green building. And there's another category, revolving loan funds, and that one needs a bit better explanation than what I was able to derive from their website. But basically, it looks like a fund that the municipality offers, and they determine a rate, has something to do with the operational cost savings that they do. Again, something can look into in more detail. Other incentives are technical assistance, offer free planning and certification training for a builder or a homeowner, and marketing assistance, offer free signage, awards, websites, press releases, etc. to incent the developers. And then I went into the examples that other municipalities have actually put into ordinance from that site. And I listed just a few of them, and I'm not going to read them all in detail, but I will give you a little overview. Boynton Beach implemented an ordinance to expedite their permitting and review for residential and commercial buildings pursuing LEED certification or a city-approved alternative certification. So there's obviously other mediums that they can use. Wellington has an expedited permitting program on all phases of planning, zoning, building, engineering, and utilities permitting processes. And Royal Palm Beach, they have expedited permitting for intending to achieve LEED certification. So it required a letter from the USGBC stating that the project has submitted their design and their anticipated credit achievement. So they've devised a little bit more fine-tune of a system that meets their needs. Palm Bay, buildings that earn the LEED are eligible for expedited permitting, reduction in building permit fees, and marketing assistance. West Melbourne, granting buildings located in their town center with LEED certification, got a height bonus up to 25 feet. Port Orange, let's see if they have something that's different.
Does it seem like the majority of them are all expediting permitting process?
It
no
appears,
real tax benefits? Or?
These are expedited, so the structural ones seem to be the most, I'm going to assume, the most advantageous for a municipality to offer in terms of cost.
Right.
And there are some in here with tax incentives also. Permitting fees, green programs, fast tracking building permit incentive with a 50% reduction in fees. So some of them done different percentages in their fees. And this one in St. Petersburg did a LEED certification program. If they approved, received a permit fee refund of a specific amount of money of $1,000.
Michelle, can I interrupt you just for a second? I just got a text from Jessica asking if there's a Zoom link.
Yes. She can also get on live stream, but I will send her the Zoom link.
Okay. Let me tell her it's being sent to you. Go ahead, Michelle, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm at the end, almost. Yeah. But the one in St. Petersburg was interesting because it offered an actual dollar amount, and they also had for commercial developments on specific on vacant land over an acre, buildings that follow the LEED standards receive a permit refund of $2,500. So they've come across different types of incentives, and probably by working with somebody at LEED, you can kind of see what fits your municipality size and budget. And oh, here's an interesting one. Orlando put in a 5-year pilot program with a one-time tax increment rebate. So it's a 50 to 100% tax increment rebate. Again, they're a much larger city. So that's that in a nutshell, as far as what other municipalities in Florida have utilized and put into ordinance. And it does seem that they're the easiest ones, the low-hanging fruit ones, are the structural ones, which are reducing timeframes for permitting processes, and the marketing, offering the signage and things like that to make the community aware and create that awareness.
A buzz, creative buzz.
That's actually, I think, is a more effective way, is to just positively get people excited about things instead of other, so it works out nice. And the technical assistance, you know, if somebody wants to go that avenue, maybe we can figure out a way to connect with somebody at LEED.
Yes, that's what Jill's been trying to do.
Okay.
With no success.
No success yet. I understand that. And on another note, I actually tried to contact the Eco Center to try and get some information to share with everybody on how to go there. And
This was the Lake Worth?
in Lake Worth.
Yeah.
And with no success, the building got sold, and it is a new company that owns it. It's one company, so that's interesting. And have not yet been able to figure out if they have a local phone number. So eventually, somebody's gonna know somebody somewhere, and we can get access to that.
That'd be great. In your presentation, you mentioned that Florida has X number of cities that have incentives on the books. I wasn't able to write that number down. Can you repeat that?
Let me see, what page is that from?
Once I heard 13,
I think she said 30 something.
30, yes, Florida has 30 registered
30 registered.
and 16 certified LEED cities. That's huge. That's the entire city. And counties, 16 certified LEED cities and counties.
Wow.
Can I interject?
Yes,
So
please.
there's a program called LEED for cities and municipalities that's separate from getting buildings
Right.
certified, right?
Right.
So I think Jupiter and La Colony has it
Really?
as part of that, so maybe that's a good place to reach out.
I'll look into it. I didn't see it on their map.
They're actually meeting in here tonight for some reason.
Charter, they're trying to do a charter change to go to a council manager form of government.
They may not have gone through with it, I think they were looking into it when I was reading an article about it.
Okay, well, something, another resource to tap into, see if they've had any experience with it.
So, have you seen anything in your research so far that indicates what is most attractive to commercial developers that are building or renovating? Have you seen anything along those lines yet?
That's in the tax incentive, like when I looked at the ones that are in Florida,
Yeah.
the tax incentive, 50 to, what was it, a 50 to 100% tax rebate?
And is that a state program?
This is in Orlando.
Oh, in Orlando.
Mhm.
Okay.
So now from, gathering these basics, and some more time, we can go in and look at specific, how these are set up, and actually, how effective are they? Do they actually incent, or is it just something that's there?
Excellent. Okay, any questions for Michelle? All right, thank you for that. That's,
All right. So going forward from here, I'll look into, see if I can find out again how effective these incentives have been.
Mhm.
And probably need to maybe chat with Jeremy in relation to our municipality size. What of these incentives look like they would be addressable? Because we
Mhm.
are so small,
right, right.
and I don't have.
Jay?
Oh, I don't know.
Two-headed Jeremy.
I'm just gonna use the word Jeremy, name Jeremy from here out and cover you both.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, if there's no questions, but that is good that you do, you want to check with one of the J's, probably the one sitting closest to us, that his thoughts on what might be more in line
Right.
for a place like this. Our population is probably about 5,000 less than North Palm, but they may have things that you've done or contemplated that may be worth sharing with Michelle.
Yeah, I'd love to meet with you.
Yes, yep, wonderful, thank you.
Okay, well, let me crank up the computer again and see
Oh,
where,
yeah.
what's next on there. And why is it not, there we go. Okay, then, so that was the lead incentives, and then potential for greenhouse gas reduction grants research. Brad, if you can hear me, have you done any grant research since our last meeting that you want to share with us?
Yes, I have. Online, identified 5 that I think qualified for grants, municipality grants, 2 of which the letter of intents were already, the due date was already passed, but the 3 others are, I think, viable for at least consideration by DOT.
DOT, did you say?
Yes,
VOT.
these are small municipality grants,
Oh,
both state and federal.
so you meant, when you said, as in Village of Tequesta appropriate is what you mean?
Correct.
Yeah, VOT, I thought I was thinking of FDOT when you said, so anyway, I'm with you, don't worry about it.
Sorry.
It's that acronym thing.
Yeah, okay, so that's great. So two have, the deadline has passed, but 3 are still open and
Viable.
viable, that's right, viable.
There
So,
are quite a few to get through that, they don't qualify or they're not pertinent to what we're trying to accomplish. But nonetheless, it's still an ongoing process.
okay, so you'll keep digging into that, and how do you want to handle if you see something that you think is really something we need to jump on? What do you think you need to do or we need to do in that regard?
I would say I would bring it to your attention to EAC, but bring it to whomever is appropriate at Tequesta. Whoever would take on the job of completing this application, or at least a letter of intent.
Okay, oh, that's good. Any questions for Brad? Brad, do you have anything else today on that subject?
No, I don't.
Or is there a match to it?
Oh, Brad, Jeremy, the village manager is asking the ones that you thought were attractive or viable, do they have a match associated with them?
I know the 2 that the due date for the letter of intent did not. Those three, I have to go back and look. I'm not in front of my computer. I can't recall it. I blasted through so many that it's kind of, they're all confusing together.
Yeah, okay. So, Jeremy,
But I can get that information to them.
all right, excellent. All right, so we'll move on now to, let me get my bearings here. Oh, I won't go into great detail, but the backup that's attached here are the copies of 2 emails I had with the executive director of the Loxahatchee River Environmental Control District for greenhouse gas reductions. So I, basically I did that since our August meeting, and he says he's supposed to get back to me this week, the week of September 11, he said, and because I think he was on vacation. I was a little surprised. I don't know if you guys read them, but the first response that he sent was like, it made me think he didn't know anything about energy savings. So, I mean, if he's open to it, we can show him the pathway of where to go to find energy cost reduction programs that are available. I mean, the EPA has stuff mind-boggling that they may be able to tap into, because that facility and our water plant are major consumers of energy. And at one point he even asked me in one of the, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So I said, basically after a paragraph saying, to reduce greenhouse gases attributable to Tequesta. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens on that. The next item there is shoreline protection actions. Russ, do you have anything you want to offer?
Nothing has occurred that I know of. I think last meeting I gave some information and Jeremy gave us some more information about my understanding was we were waiting on maps, and then Jeremy informed us that we don't need to wait on maps of the shorelines. And then I think everyone wanted me to email Margie, but then Jeremy suggested wait for Jay to show up. And Jay is here.
He has been somewhat updated on that project that we're moving forward with.
Cool.
Okay, all right. Did you see that? May have been Jeremy Allen that sent it to me. I'm not sure. It was something, a training class.
Right.
Now that appeared to be mainly for people that are in the permitting realm.
Right.
But it also said if you just want to learn more or whatnots, but I don't know if that was of any interest to you or not.
I'm already signed up for it.
You did?
Yeah, I'll report back to you guys what I learned.
Excellent, fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to go, we can
Yeah.
help sign you up. I don't know if there was a cost to it, but we'll figure out how to flip the cost for it if somebody else wants to go to it too.
You think you might want to do that,
I
Rushy?
can't. It's not possible. I teach
Teach, okay.
one of the days I can't make it.
All righty. So Jay, you just let us know when you're ready to tell us what all you may have learned there. Let's see, where are we? So
Your favorite word.
now I'm gonna get hung up on it. Perchlorates.
There you go.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Perchlorates. Brad, I know you're just monitoring. Did you any words of wisdom that may have dropped down like as manna from heaven during since the last meeting? I think.
Yeah, I think you actually dropped off.
Yeah, it looks like he dropped off. Okay, so we'll assume there's nothing new on that. But it's, I will remind everybody that the EPA is supposed to issue guidelines on parts per billion or million, I forgot which will be the acceptable levels prior to commencement of calendar 2024. So that's, right around the corner. Increased recycling. Next item is on Tequesta facilities is Clay. Clay, did you have anything that you want to add since last month?
Honestly, not much. I had a challenging last month. I was out of town for a good period of time, but I'll have a better update for our next meeting. I do have my contacts to reach out to Jeff Sabin over at Solid Waste Management, and I was incorrect. We definitely do have recycling facilities over at Tequesta Park. Perhaps the day I was there, they're getting cleaned or this or that, but there is actually a good amount over there. So our main focus would pretty much be Coral Cove, Constitution Park, I think are the low-hanging fruit to be able to add a recycling bin. So I will reach out to Solid Waste, try and get some more clarity on, is there going to be a movement where we don't need to be separating plastics and papers, if we can just put that all into one? Because it doesn't really make much sense to invest in two separate ones now if 3 years down the road it's just going to change.
That's closer, I think, than you think. It's maybe
yeah.
a year, probably next fiscal year we go to the new system currently causing aggravation in Jupiter?
Stand by, because we are going to have a workshop soon with Waste Management, and we'll be able to have that conversation. So, hate to commit to anything. I was just going to ask, I think I forwarded the email from Coral Cove, from the county regarding Coral Cove. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I don't think I did.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
So they basically said that they've tried recycling on many different fronts in these public places. They have them in a couple places where they have staff, but they're not going to extend that to Coral Cove. However, if we wanted to do it, we could. We don't have the staff currently to do that, but if there's a volunteer group similar to what we have at Tequesta Park, I think that would be the avenue, but the county will not extend that. I could forward that email. I thought I already did, but
Yeah.
maybe
So
my brain was
that might
working.
be a
So
really
what,
good
they pretty
project.
much said that they've attempted it and it
Yep.
was a failure?
Yep. So that, because what happens is a lot of people just throw their trash wherever, so it's more staff consuming to go out there and move everything over, so they typically don't do in those high traffic areas without staff member present. So similar to what we have with Constitution Park, when we do all those events, I mean, people just throw trash in there, and Ken, our maintenance guy, spends more time separating the trash than and so we only got one maintenance guy, and so that's typically why we have had trouble with at Constitution Park. So, and I know Jessica's talked about really trying to have more signage and more education, but that's been the challenge, and the county confirmed it at Coral Cove as well. So.
And the way it works for Tequesta Park right now is literally a volunteer.
That's it.
Empties and
Came to us and said he wanted to do a recycling program. Great. So if we could, I know some cities have like Friends of Tequesta or Friends of Palm Beach or wherever it is, and those types of groups take stuff like that on, or Friends of the Parks. Organizations like that are volunteer organizations that would take on something.
And where does he go? What, like once a week or?
Yep, once a week he goes on, I think on Fridays, I think is when he does it.
Okay.
And then he turns in, at the end of the month, he'll turn in a report so that we can sign off on it when he does it, so we can get some credit at school or whatever. So.
Gotcha.
Jeremy, two things. One, this fellow that volunteers for the recycling at Tequesta Park, where do you think he takes that to?
He just takes all the bins, he rolls them out to where they're supposed to be picked up, and then he'll also, I think, comes back on like Monday or whatever, he'll take them and roll them back to the fields or whatever. So he moves them, Waste Management comes, picks them up, and then he moves them back out.
Okay, so
So
he brings them to a central location.
That's right.
Truck comes, picks
Yep.
it up. Gotcha.
Exactly.
So tell me how you feel about this logic train. So
Loving it.
Coral Cove Park is a county park,
Mhm.
but it's located in the jurisdiction of Tequesta.
Mhm.
Therefore, doesn't that mean that Waste Management is supposed to pick up the waste in proper receptacles that are in Coral Cove Park?
Yeah, I mean, the logic sounds good.
So if we have a project for recycling, that may have some volunteers associated, or who knows. At the end of the day, then it's highly likely that Waste Management would have to pick up those materials, which was good, because then whatever we do there doesn't have to be transported by us or volunteers to
Right.
some pickup place.
So a
drop-off
similar
place.
setup as you have there, where Waste Management will come to that street front and pick them up, they just won't go in the park, is that what I'm getting?
Maybe, yeah, unless they have a dumpster. If they have a dumpster, I mean, Waste Management charges if you have a dumpster, right?
Right.
Yeah, so they may have a dumpster, but I doubt it. I don't think I've ever seen one there. In the parking lot is where it would likely be, but I don't think I've ever seen one.
So I think we could do a similar thing. I'm sure the county would be open to that. You guys will see the email. I mean, they were like, yeah, we'll 100% support you. So I think that, if there's trash pickup already out over there on Beach Road somewhere, I'm sure Waste Management wouldn't have any problem adding that extra. It didn't take much for me to reach out to them and say, hey, we got this kid wants to do recycling. They were like, oh, great. We'll meet out there. We'll figure out where it needs to go. And I mean, the next week it was done. So I couldn't imagine that being a problem. It's just the consistency of a volunteer group doing it and being
Right.
consistent, I think, would be the challenge.
The kid who does it, he's just a high school student?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough, because, I mean, he sounds like he's good, but my experience working with high school volunteers is the consistency can be problematic.
Well, and at some point, he's gonna go to college.
There's that, right.
Or somewhere, yeah. I
But
had a
if we
thought, but I
create a
can't-
Friends of the Parks organization, see how many people, adults and students, would want to
Yeah, at least
participate.
I ain't gonna put anybody out in line, but Jessica volunteered to lead a group one time when I caught her in the park on probably on a bad day.
She's on
I
this- is
know, I
this-
see her. I don't know if she's listening.
Yes, hello, I have, and I have the list of the businesses to reach out to, though.
That's next on.
And so, yeah, so the businesses, I though have had the National Public Lands Day has taken precedence just because we have that next weekend, so I haven't had a chance yet to kind of tackle the recycling, so I apologize, but I was given a list of the businesses that we can reach out to work on the recycling with.
Okay, so that's your update, is the, per the agenda, that was your update about the commercial, right?
Well, that was just, I had heard, I was commenting on the recycling part of that, so to speak, but that's not the update of the National Public Lands Day. I'm happy to give that now too as well if you'd like, but.
Yeah, let's wait, I think we're almost done, let's see what else we
Yeah.
have. Oh, come on, my computer, boom. So Tequesta Facilities, Jessica just commented on the business commercial facilities. And then the other two are green infrastructure and green buildings. Green infrastructure has not been assigned, and green buildings, I wrote C, lead above, so we've already dealt with that. That's that. So Jessica, you're up. It's the update on the BLM Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse Outstanding Natural Area National Public Lands Day on September 23rd.
Wonderful. Okay, well, this is quite an exciting event. This is the largest event that Peter DeWitt has had on site to date in his tenure, and he is hoping that it is going to be a good turnout. There's also a Pokemon event that is going on. They have agreed to host some sort of a Pokemon search at the same time, or later that day, I guess, but he was saying there could be anywhere from a few hundred to thousands of people for all I know. But there are numerous organizations that are all setting up booths, and then some of those organizations will also be hosting, so to speak, service projects. So service projects might be cleanups, for example, in certain areas of the public lands. So there are volunteers that BLM will be providing, but it would be wonderful if any of you or any of your family or friends are wanting to help come volunteer. We, the Village of Tequesta's EAC, will be manning 2 different stations, so to speak. I'm going to be setting up our normal tent and tables, much jazzier though, because we have all sorts of fun things for them to do at our booth. And so I will be there, and we'll have somebody with me. I have had some high schoolers in the past, middle schoolers that have volunteered to help me with some of the kids' craft projects. And so if I need to recruit some of them, I will. But I wanted to speak to you guys first and see who might be willing to help out. But we will need at least 2 people at the tables, the booth area. And then we are hosting our service project on Tequesta's side, the north side of the property. Somebody was already leading cleanup there. However, there was no invasive plant removal like there's going to be on the south side of the BLM property. So I volunteered us and my family to help lead volunteers that will be showing up, that we have also posted Lori was able to help get out the memo in the newsletter last week, I think it was, if not, or 2 weeks ago. So hopefully we have a good turnout. But the love vine, the invasive love vine, is what we will also have a group that will be helping remove from that area. So this is, again, a huge project. It's all happening between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. on the 23rd. So setup is early, 7, I believe we're allowed to start arriving at 7:15. And there will be a lot of people. And so again, anybody that is able to come and help me, or if you know people that are willing to help in your place, I think that I would greatly appreciate that.
So Jessica, just so we can make sure about the time, so you have people like you and others that have a table. What time are you supposed to?
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
7:15, yeah, 7 a.m. at the Lighthouse.
When do the public start rambling through the property?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. So you need people to be there at 7 to help you, right?
We're able to, the gate, we can't access the area that we will be setting up the tables or our booth because they have to open the gates on that property for us. And I will forward the map of our table location. And so yes, we can't get it on there until they open the gates, and they've said they're doing so at 7 a.m.
Okay. So my memory tells me Michelle volunteered to help you. Is there anybody else? Because I'm gonna be gone. Is anybody else gonna be able to help Jessica? Michelle, did you have a question? I thought.
No, I just wanted to make sure that she knew that I was still available to volunteer, even though I couldn't make that meeting due to that time. Remember?
Thank you. Yes, I know that was so.
You
know what?
I need to share that with these guys because that was interesting.
I was going to say we should make a public service announcement here.
Yeah. So the email that came through to us about this, in the subject line said the date and the time, and so for the meeting. And I was going to meet Jessica there, and I got there, and nobody's there. Nobody knew what was going on at the place. They called Peter. He said, no, we don't have a meeting. I said, clearly there's a communication error. That I go back, I went home, looked at my calendar, it's the right day, it's the right time, 7 p.m. And so I was texting with Jessica, and she saw 3 little letters after the time, UTC or something. And so she Googled it. It's another time reference. It's to do with public transportation throughout the world. So 7 p.m. is actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
So just be aware of that. Look, it is a good PSA.
Wow, okay, well. I
Well,
thought,
I had never seen that. It stands for Coordinated Universal Time. But now that it jumped out, I've noticed it in even the emails that are coming from the village. It's, I guess, government related or public, but it's UTC instead of any of our normal time zone acronyms. It is Coordinated Universal Time.
well, okay, first I ever heard of that one, but I thought you were on vacation anyway.
No, I was there I'd just gotten back and I popped over there to the 7 p.m. meeting.
She thought she was on medication too. She couldn't figure out what was going. Just teasing. It was so we could not. I felt badly because I said it was happened. It already happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was terrible. Yeah, UTC, and it does not convert very easily. Again, 7 p.m. was 3. Yeah, it was just like okay. Anyway.
So Jessica, as it gets closer to September 23rd, if something comes up, you need to email us and or the village to help you make all of what you envision happen.
I sure will. I do not anticipate that happening, but I certainly will.
Well, thank you for doing it. And Michelle, you as well.
So unless I hear from you differently, Jessica, I'll be there at 7 a.m. at the Lighthouse grounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. ETC.
Okay.
Mary Ann?
I just wanted to remind Jessica that we have, and it's sitting at her chair right now, I ordered tablecloths for the tables, and we also have 2 boxes of the little potted plants, the giveaways. So
Thank you. So I can swing by. I will swing by and pick those up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so let's see where we are. I think that's it for today. Let's make a double check.
Stop the new business.
So that was BLM. And next item is new business, comments of committee members, village council liaison, and staff. Any comments, questions anybody has for the good of the order? Michelle?
It's not for the good of the order, it's a question of procedures.
Okay, go ahead.
So if I have information related to whatever project I'm on, do you want me to email that to everybody ahead of time?
Is this something that you would want to discuss at a meeting? Or
Right.
just to inform us? Or
Well,
both?
Either, yeah.
Okay.
What's the procedure?
Yeah, you can forward it to us, and you can have a narrative, but we can't respond to you,
Okay,
okay? And if you want it on the agenda, I recently wrote an email
Saw
saying,
that.
here's the timelines.
Right.
And I think I said, if you have something like, let's say you've got a report on lead, and you want it to be on the agenda, I think I said noon on the Wednesday
I've got it somewhere, right.
prior to the
Okay.
EAC meeting.
But
something
it isn't
like
necessary to communicate this information via email or whatever prior to a meeting. It can be just, it's at the meeting.
Yeah, you can do that.
And if
You
I-
can use your discretion sometimes.
But if there's something that's interesting, I can just communicate it, but it's not for conversation.
Like, for example, I
Okay.
think
Got it.
I copied all of you originally when I wrote this email to the executive director of the sewer district. And I also put it on the agenda to show for the record that I did
Okay.
that. So my discretion, I said, let Jeremy and the others all have it, and I'll put it here as well.
Okay.
So you're able to do that.
And if I'm reaching out to another entity for any type of research or material, am I allowed to do that?
You can. It's at your discretion. If you want us to know what you're seeking, you can do that if you
Okay.
want to. We just won't be responding because we don't want to
Right,
get in trouble relative to Florida Sunshine Law.
right. And that's what I want to be careful that I'm understanding that procedure, those procedures. Okay, so just be as transparent as possible.
You can, but remember, if you're right, let's say you're communicating via email with folks at the lead headquarters. I forgot where that is, but you don't have to copy us. It's up to
Okay.
you.
Oh, okay, that
You know,
doesn't,
you know,
okay. If you don't want to be inundated with all that either.
But it's up to you.
But
Sometimes it'll
someone
be
else.
so important that you say, you know,
Right.
they all need to know
Right.
this.
Okay, all right,
So you just have to use your discretion.
okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Jay, do you have anything now after you've suffered through your first EAC meeting?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Future agenda items, anybody have anything they want to suggest for an upcoming meeting? All right, we'll keep plugging away at these things, and remember, I think y'all understand this, but just for the record, this greenhouse gas stuff and other related matter, it won't get done unless we do it, is what the bottom line is. So we have,
Right.
it's up to us. And so that's it. Any other matters? None? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
It is what,
Thank
2:54. I think we've had a
Wow.
record
That's
here.
a record.
That's
And
good.
Mary Ann's gonna do a somersault right now.
And so moving forward, we're supposed to be using these tequesta.orgs now, right?
Oh, I'm gonna try and do that before we leave,
Yes.
so I can get,
Well, good luck. I'm
If I got-
still in the.
If I got locked out, I gotta wait till tomorrow to try again? Is that-
I think
Yes,
that's-
I got locked out.
That's what it's been doing for
but
me.
you're saying this mail.tequesta.org is not working?
Yeah, that's correct. Like,
Well,
that's got, that's the
supposed to be.
wrong one. So let me, let me look it up.
But
That's,
the same thing happened to me. I put in my new password, I knew I followed it correctly, I put it in, then it says, no, wrong password. And I
it's,
did the forgot password, reset it again, reset to exactly what I knew it was. When I went to log in, no, wrong password.
Sounds like exactly what
was
I've
that
been
the
going
right
through.
one? Maybe it was the right
So
one.
then finally,
So I'm wondering if this IT people here in Village Hall, if they can see
Oh,
the
very
passwords
good.
that we have, and if they can, just tell us and we put the right one in.
but that's ultimately
Ah.
what Lori ended up doing.
/OW.
She sent me this morning and said, try this one.
Ah.
And
That's-
that sure
that
enough
was
works.
the-
Now
'cause
I
when I
gotta
did the
change
other
this,
one,
'cause I'm
it
never
just-
gonna remember.
It wouldn't
Test
do
run,
anything.
So on that email,
Pound sign 183.
was it sent just
So,
to
yeah, but once
each
you're in, I
individual, or is there a
imagine you
header
just
with
Yeah,
all
this
of
one's,
them?
Reset
this
your
one's just for
password to
me.
be
It's
able to
Okay.
got
I
like
think
my
so.
special.
And then I
Okay.
should be able to,
Password.
which I'll
All
try and
right, I
figure out.
didn't get that
if
one.
I
I
can.
think they must have used the old one by accident.
Like I said, I'm never gonna revert
Yeah,
to
this,
email.
so this,
I
yeah,
need everything
that's
that
what,
goes
that's
there
what's so
to
confusing me.
email
It's
me
like,
at
this
my
had the
email.
correct
So that's the only way.
email address to go to, but the incorrect
My next
temporary
question is, can I
password,
get
so
rid
that's
of
why
my
I got locked out.
DOT
I'm like, it's
Gmail
the
account?
password.
Yeah.
And, but then she had sent a separate one with the
Okay.
incorrect
Okay.
thing, but the
I'm
correct
afraid to ask
password,
that
so I
question
got,
Because they'll probably say,
But I
oh,
I
can't-
got locked out.
send it all to us or something. We gotta have it for the record.
Yeah, maybe that one.
Says
keeps
it's not
signing right now.
secure.
Yeah.
So Mary Ann, did I hear Lori correctly? There's still a problem with my account. I'm locked out, I think I heard her say. Is that what?
Yeah.
I think that's what she said, so I'm gonna wait for her to contact me.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
So the other emails no longer will function, or they'll just sit
You're
there?
just not going to use them.
Yeah.
So they'll just sit there. Like, can I delete my,
I mean,
that,
Your old
that one?
email?
Yeah.
I mean, in
Once I
theory,
get my
it's-
other one functioning?
Yes.
yeah, in theory, it's just your Gmail
It's just your
account.
Gmail. All right, this isn't connecting for
I
me.
just try not to have too many
I'm
I'm
old
with you.
accounts that I don't use anymore.
Yeah, I'd like to kill that, once that, I get the new one, I want to get rid of my VOT Gmail account, because that's always been a pain having to, oh, did I look at it this week?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna need to forward the Tequesta account to my main
Huh.
one.
It's not even gonna wanna connect. Is it because it
Did you do
deems
the
it not
slash
secure?
OWA?
I did.
And it still
Do it
didn't work?
again. No.
So what's this story about this slash what?